All right, I've got 7 o'clock. I'm going to call the meeting to order. Just had a quick ground rule rundown. Please mute your cell phones and mute your microphone on the meeting here unless you want to speak. And try not to speak over one another. Can I get a quick roll call starting with Planning Commission members? Alex, you're here.
I am once I find my unmute button.
There you go. Tim.
Present.
Andy.
Here.
John.
Present.
Tony.
Here.
All right, and we have Steve Bell, our engineer. Greg is with us. I see Supervisor Miller and Collingwood are with us. Anyone else? Scott Meese, are you with Meese Engineering? I'll take that as a yes. Anybody else want to identify themselves for the record?
Sorry about that. I was muted. Yes, I'm here.
There you are. How are you?
Good.
All right. So moving forward, can I get the approval for the August 10th meeting minutes? Any contradictions, changes?
This is Alex. I have none.
This is Tim. I have none.
John, I have none.
Andy, none.
All right. I have none. Can I get a motion to approve?
John, I'll make the motion.
This is Alex. I'll second.
All right. We'll give that to Alex. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Thank you. All right. So next thing on the agenda is a Hamburger land development. Scott, do you want to give us an overview on this and just run down the engineering list here?
Sure, absolutely. Hamburger Roofing owns Lot 2 of the Rotor subdivision on Anna Lane. It's about a 30,000 square foot lot. It's in the PC2 zoning district, which requires a minimum of 20,000 square feet. As I said, they're a little under 30,000 square feet. And basically where they're at is the roofing company has been there for a number of years. The current owner, when he purchased it, there's a lot of materials that are stored outside, and he's finding that in the current economy, he needs to have even more materials stored. And what he'd like to do is get all these materials that are stored outside under roof. Currently, this materials are stored outside his building on the parking lot. It would be the southwest corner of the parking lot. And so that's why I'd like to add a 2,000 square foot addition onto his building. Basically, he wants to get these materials under roof and no longer being stored outside. So that in a nutshell is what he's proposing. And then you have a review from Steve dated August 27th. And if you'd like, we can go through. There's a number of will complies and then just a couple that maybe we need to talk about.
Yeah, that's how I would summarize it. Anybody from the Planning Commission have any questions for Scott on this project before he runs down this? All right.
This is Alex. I don't.
Why don't you go ahead, Scott, and we'll run down the list here.
Sure.
If it will comply, just say will comply, and we'll move through it.
Okay, the first one, Steve comments about a narrative summary. I just gave you that summary. I can put that in writing, though, so that satisfies that requirement. Number
I'd
two.
like to interrupt you.
Yes.
Right off the bat, I'm sorry. There's in that section reference to section 409, there's certain questions. So in your written narrative, make sure you answer all those questions, not just the general summary.
Okay, sure.
Thank you.
Okay. Number two talked about verification of adjoiner notifications. We did notify the adjoiners and did provide Steve with copies of those notifications. Number three points out the fact that there are 10 parking spaces there right now. There's no need for that many parking spaces. So when we put this building up, we will be losing parking spaces, but we will maintain what the minimum required for this business. And then number four talks about will there be any additional outdoor storage. The owner believes that the 2,000 square feet will take care of the outdoor storage that are the items that are being stored outside now. So that's how he came up with the 2,000 square feet to get all those materials indoors.
Hey, Scott, back on number 4. So you're saying you're going to work out the parking to comply with the zoning?
Yeah, we currently do comply. I was just making an explanation about there's 10 spaces there now. They don't need that many. They only need 4. And when this addition is put on the building, there still will be at least 4 parking spaces.
And Steve, you're
Scott, so
satisfied
I
with
think,
it?
well, no, I think we still need to answer whether there's office space in the building, because there's additional parking required if there's office space.
Yeah, he doesn't have office space per se. He has a desk in there that he works off of. Most of the building inside has machines for bending the metal, making the metal pieces for the roof. That's what's contained in his building. It's mostly machinery. He does have a desk in one corner of the building. So I wouldn't call that technically an office. It's not like an office space, unless we need.
Customers don't come to the building and sit down and
No, they don't.
go
No,
over their orders or anything. Okay.
no.
Yeah, I stopped in there today, and it is mostly, warehousing area. But there is an enclosed area that I assumed was an office, but I don't know what type of business carries on in that office. So if he's not having customers come into that office, I understand how you're coming up with these numbers.
Mm-hmm.
You satisfied with that, Steve?
Yeah, I mean, that enclosed area might also be the restroom, because I believe there's sewage on the site, right, Scott?
There is, yes, that's correct. Yeah, I didn't actually say that this property is served by a well and an on-site storage system. They have a sand mound.
Okay.
And that brings us to number 5, which is the waivers. Curbs and sidewalk were not required when this subdivision was approved by the township. There are no curbs and sidewalks anywhere in this development, and that's why we asked for a waiver that, in keeping with the nature of the development, that curbs and sidewalk wouldn't be required. I don't think they really make sense there.
Yeah, I would agree with that myself. We'll talk about that after we go through the whole list here and get the planning commission's vote on that.
There's really only one other comment of Steve's that I want to talk about, and the rest is a will comply. And that is the fact, number 7, the site's located in an area that's served by sanitary sewer and water supply. However, existing facilities are located in the vicinity. Existing facilities are not located in the vicinity. As I said, they do have an on-site storage system and a well. This addition is not increasing number of employees. It's strictly for storage of materials, so there's not going to be any change in their storage usage.
So that takes care of the last sentence in number 7, but you understand that if public does come up your way, he's gonna have to join in there.
Right. Steve, would you like me to add a note to the plan to that effect?
Yeah, there's probably going to be a covenant also, but if you could add a note to the plan, and also if you could get us what the design capacity was on that septic system, so we have record of that.
Okay. Yep.
I'm sure it's way more than what they use.
Yeah. Yeah, it's at least 400 gallons a day.
How about number 13? Are you going to dedicate some land, or are you want
to? No, we don't have any land to dedicate.
You sure don't?
I just kind of chuckled at that one because it seems like it's kind of a given that it's either or. So I didn't know there was any way around that.
Can I chime in on that one? This is Tim.
Sure.
Yeah, I'd like to note that I'm opposed to that, having to do that.
Understood.
We certainly could ask for a waiver of that.
Yeah, I don't think you'll get it.
Okay.
I would be for it, Scott. But
Okay.
Is there anything else worthy of discussion on this, Steve?
So I was just looking through the items myself to make sure. I don't think so. It is a pretty basic project.
Yeah. Are we comfortable enough to give them a preliminary final on this, or do we have too much outstanding?
Do we want to do the waiver first?
We do have to do the waiver, yeah, but do you think we're all right to move forward, Steve? I mean,
Yeah.
there's a lot that has to be taken care of, but as long as it's conditions.
Right. This isn't going to be on the board agenda because it's tomorrow night. So, Scott, you'd have a month to clean up these items on the plan and resubmit it, and that could go then straight to the Board of Supervisors.
That's what I would like to do. Yes.
Yeah.
I don't see an issue with that.
All right. So, how about the waiver request? Everybody comfortable with that?
This is Alex. I am.
John, I am.
Tim, I am.
Andy, yes, fine.
Yeah, I am as well. Do we typically vote on that? I don't know that we do.
I think we have.
Have we?
Yeah,
Somebody
you
make
made
a
a recommendation.
I'll make said motion. This is Tim, to accept the waiver of land development, or the waiver of installing curbs and sidewalks. Sorry.
John, I'll second it.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Motion carries. All right. So, are we comfortable enough to grant or recommend a conditional preliminary final?
Chris, this is Andy. One question before we do.
Yeah.
And this would be to Steve. The fenced-in dumpster that's shown there, is that fine, that close to the building? Are there any issues with the fire marshal? Is there any, or is that okay?
No, I don't see any issue with the location of the dumpster.
Okay. I didn't have any other questions. Thank you.
Okay. Anyone else?
Actually, this is Alex. I have one other question. I see there's a 10-foot gap in front of the building. I'm assuming that's for entry into the building? Or is that a parking spot?
That's a parking space. I believe.
Yeah, that's a parking spot. Mhm.
Oh, okay. And then the others extend existing up beyond that?
They're on the end of the building.
Okay. Oh, I got them over there. Okay.
End of the existing building there.
Yep. Okay, I got it now. Sorry about that.
No problem. Anyone else? All right. Can somebody give me a motion to recommend conditional preliminary final?
This is Alex. I make a motion to recommend conditional preliminary final.
This is Andy. I will second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Very good. Thank you.
You're welcome. Good luck with it.
All right.
Thanks, Scott. Good luck.
Hey, I'm going to sign off.
All right. Good night.
Good night.
All right. Moving forward, old business is next on the agenda. I have no old business. Anyone have anything?
Andy, just one question, the same one I brought up last month, where we said Moser, I believe it was going to be tabled until September. Did they not turn in the required paperwork?
Greg, you want to handle that one?
Yeah, the township would like to see them move the stormwater detention back further because that's the only place where the trees have grown, and it won't empty the stormwater right towards the Leidy property. Also, there hasn't been clarification what the Planning Commission asked for of what can be done in conserved open space. Those are the two outstanding issues that have not been resolved, and that's why they haven't been put back on the agenda. Unless I'm forgetting something, Steve.
No, those are the two big questions, but they did not submit a full plan either. So we have nothing to review.
So the question of what can the conserved area can be used for, has that been addressed?
No, not to my knowledge.
Okay.
Yeah, I believe the attorneys spoke, but I haven't seen anything in writing that clarifies the results.
Okay. So while we're on this topic, Greg, I know we were supposed to have 4 applicants this month, and it got whittled down to 1. Who were the others?
The other was TH Properties. They were
Okay.
going to come back after they met with the Board of Supervisors. They decided that they did not want to come back. The other was Clay Heckler with the 3-lot subdivision on Ridge Road.
Okay.
We've permanently taken them off the agenda, the possible agenda, until they write to us and tell us they want to be on the agenda.
Okay.
So that was the other 3, with Hamburg being the 4th.
Okay. And I guess I do have an old business question. How about the battery storage? Have they done anything?
They have done nothing with the township. There has been no new submission with the township. I heard that they may be contacting property owners in the area to meet with property owners again, but they have not reached out to the township.
Okay.
Yeah, several months ago they had called me, I don't know, maybe 2, maybe 3 different times with some follow-up questions from the first meeting. And as Greg indicated, they said they were going to work on something and resubmit it, but we have not seen it. Yeah.
Their next move is zoning hearing board, right? Don't they have to apply there?
I would assume so.
Because I heard they're, yeah, I heard they're,
I think they might be trying to whittle down the issues before they jump in with both feet.
yeah, the residents there was some communications among the residents about being contacted by them and wanting a meeting or something along those lines, but nothing official through the township then.
Nope.
No, there has been no application to the zoning hearing board. I think they have to meet with the neighbors to whittle down issues. If not, the zoning hearing board will be packed with people.
Okay. I don't know if it's old business or not, but more of just a general question. On the Kratz development, the subdivision across the street from my house, Steve, are they planning on leaving those piles of boulders there? Like all strewn across all the properties?
Apparently they are. Apparently the property owners agreed to retain the boulders when they built the houses.
Really? That's interesting.
I mean, the owners have complained about a lot of things, but not the boulders.
Can the neighbors complain about the boulders?
You can. I don't know that I could do anything about them.
Yeah, just something else on that. I mean, I don't really know that, with the timing with, we had all those plans come in front of us, I think primarily during, COVID and Zoom meetings and all that type of thing. And in these meetings, it's somewhat tough. And on the smaller printed prints and what have you that we receive, it's somewhat tough to tell the topographical nature of how these rain gardens and sediment ponds and things of that sort are going to look, when it's a finished product. And quite honestly, the way it looks across the street for me is I would not want to live there. If I would have known that was going to be my front lawn, especially the one directly across from my driveway, I would have not bought that property. And I don't know that there's any way for us as a planning commission to be maybe, again, I know it's, we're doing this stuff Zoom and it's tough to tell, but I mean, it's really it's a situation where now these people have a rain garden in their front lawn, which is basically a pond, which in summertime is like a mosquito breeding ground. And I think across the ones further south up the street, there's an even bigger one there for both of the properties. And I just think that that's going to be problematic in the future. And, I don't know that the residents actually realize, quite honestly, what was going on there. So I guess my question or my recommendation would be, from a topographical standpoint, to be maybe a little bit more informed, especially if we continue in this format, which hopefully we don't, but, to be able to just visualize it a little bit better would be a recommendation that I would have. Or maybe, Steve, if you could point out to us that, hey, this is a 6 foot or 8 foot depression in the front lawn that's going to be used for rainwater capture. I don't think that I personally didn't really realize that the depth of what that rain garden was going to be in the front lawn until it's there now. So just, a comment on my end, and, going forward, maybe we can identify it a little bit better. That's my only suggestion. And that's not your fault. See, I'm not saying it's your fault. I'm just saying.
I understand your comment entirely. And,
I personally, I didn't realize it was going to be what it was. So I don't know if anybody else did or not, but I did not.
Yeah, we could certainly make an effort to draw attention to those items, and maybe even what might be desirable, especially in this format, is to get more of a colored rendering of the drawing, which would highlight those areas. It's a bit of a catch-22 for us because the rain garden type stormwater facilities really pushed by DEP through these NPDES permits that they have to get, and you have to test for them, and you could only, you have to put them where the testing is good. So it to some degree ties their hands of where they could be located. Not saying that makes it any less of an imposition on the lot, but that's why they end up in some of these odd places. And just
Sure.
for your benefit, we haven't signed off on these facilities yet. We allow the person to move into their lot, but the stormwater basins are guaranteed through the overall development. So we're still holding them responsible. Have asked their engineer to look into the function of those basins and what improvements may or may not be able to be completed to improve the situation of how long that they've been holding water. And that's probably going to take involvement with the conservation district, since they hold, the NPDES permit for the project. It is something we're monitoring.
Okay. I mean, I get it. I understand that's what they needed to do in order to get compliance. But quite honestly, as a planning commission member, I would not have voted for approval for that had I known that that was going to be the situation. And I don't know if anybody else has even been by there or even knows what I'm talking about on a planning commission. But I think, reasonable minds prevail. I think few others on this committee may not have voted for it either. So I wasn't a big fan of the thing to begin with, and whatever, it's across the street from me, but it's legal and it's fine. I'm just saying, had I known that would be the situation, I probably would not have been, for it. Let's put it that way, because the way it is right now, it's personally, I wouldn't want to live there, and I don't really want it across the street from my house. So that's my 2 cents.
Yeah, my experience has been that they are typically nowhere near 6 to 8 feet deep, or if they're dug that deep, they're backfilled with material.
Well, I didn't shoot it. I mean, I'm driving past it every day, kind of gauging. It's probably 4 or 5 foot. But still, it's a pretty significant body of water right off the front porch of this house.
Yeah, and typically they're designed only to hold water for a day or two. Yeah,
not these are. I mean, this is like they're gonna trench out the corner type situation, like the guy on Ridge Road.
Gotcha.
Like this is where we're at. Because I mean, it's that's the way it is.
Yeah, it isn't quite as deep as you were estimating, but early on it drained very well, and as subsequent storms came along, it got longer and longer and longer to drain.
We did have a 200-year storm in there too, but
but some of the other ones this summer also held for a good amount of time.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, just a point. That's all. The topographical nature of it is my biggest point. I mean, it's tough for us to see. At least it is for me. On the smaller things we have here, and even on the screen here when we have it up on the wall. You know what I mean? For me to see it. I don't want to speak for anybody else, but that's my only point.
Yeah, I would agree with you as well. I can't wait to have things on a big screen in the township building again, but we're a bit hamstrung right now.
Understood.
Yeah. Any other comments on old business? All right, let's move forward to new business. I have no new business. Does anyone else? All right, hearing none. There's nothing that needs attention on the pending projects, correct?
No, I think we're all good.
Okay. Well, and I guess we'll move on to public comment. Do we have any emails, Greg?
No emails.
And I don't know that we have any audience members that are going to provide public comment. Doesn't look like it. So anyone that's attending the meeting have anything to say before we go? All right. Hearing none, I would look for a motion to adjourn.
Sean, I'll make the motion.
Tim, I'll second it.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. Opposed? All right. Motion carries. Meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everyone. Have a great night.
Same to you.
Too.
Good night, everybody.
Everybody.
Good night.
See you soon.
Next month.
See you tomorrow night.
I meant for the planning commission.
Good
I
night.
know.
You're supposed to be there too.
I said for the planning commission. We'll see.
I'll be there.
Good
Have a
night.
good night.
Good
All
night.
right. Yeah.